Hello and welcome, ladies. Welcome to your experiential call for our second month of Catapult, the Discovery Month, and that is combined with vision. So I'm super excited to be here with you today to take you through some really deep experiential processes that are going to help you to expand and deepen your awareness of your vision and to bring about a discovery that will allow you to expand out in that vision for yourself. But before we do, let's go ahead and get centered. So go ahead and close your eyes and start taking in some nice deep breaths. And as you take that breath in, just imagine God's divine loving light flowing down, bringing beauty into every cell of your body. Allow yourself to feel His gorgeous, powerful breath coursing through your body, clearing out anything that is not supporting you and bringing forth all that will. And as you let go of whatever doesn't serve you anymore, just let it out. Just imagine your body relaxing, bringing your body into the most comfortable position. The body loves to be comfortable. Opening your mind as you take that next breath in and committing to yourself with an intention of how you're going to show up during this call. How will you presence yourself so that you will get the most of it? What is it that you would like to feel or have done by the end of this call, whether that's to be open and to learn something new or to gain a new perspective or to see something with fresh eyes or to hear something differently that will move you on your journey. Commit to that. Commit to knowing that whatever comes through is in your best and highest interest. And as you take one more deep breath in, just allow yourself to wrap your arms around yourself and acknowledge that you showed up for you, that you are dedicated to your growth. Be proud of yourself, as I am deeply proud of you for being on this journey and giving a beautiful nod, a smile to your fellow Sparkle sisters in this course, and really understanding that you are here together to create a fabric of expansion together, to uphold each other's dreams, and to prosper and to catapult yourself into the stratosphere for whatever it is that you are deeply desiring. And so it is. Amen. And in Jesus' name, we ask this. All right, ladies. So opening up your eyes, take a moment to write down your intention for today. All right, so today I'm going to start with a bit of a recap for the month. As I said, we're in the month of discovery and vision. And so our first training was really focusing on the fourth chapter of Believing Bigger, Marshawn Daniels' book. And we looked at who our first teachers were and how they impacted our life and what the beliefs were that we took on as we were growing up. And it was brought to your attention that Dr. Bruce Lipton, he wholeheartedly believes that 95% of who we are is made up of the beliefs that we take on by the time we're 7 years old. And so the main the thing to look at then is what meaning we make of those beliefs and how we process things that happen to us, because then we carry those beliefs into our life. And then based on whatever happens to us, we have a lens of perception based on those beliefs that create our reality. And so we want to be looking at, if there are things going on in our life that we don't like, then we want to look at, okay, how am I shaping my reality? What is my perspective on this? And how can I gain a more neutral lens and a neutral perspective? And so then in that training, I gave you, I believe it was 7 different ways to neutralize that lens. And there was actually there was a strategy that we had that was around rejecting all the external beliefs and labels not the beliefs, but the labels, and then to empower yourself with a new self-belief and to look at it as a growth opportunity. You know, there are two types of mindsets. Carol Dweck wrote a book about this, the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. And what we are aspiring for is the growth mindset, because a fixed mindset doesn't allow for you to make mistakes. It causes you to badger yourself and judge yourself and criticize yourself and others as well. And so how we move through life with more ease and grace and joy is by developing a growth mindset. And if you already have one, that's amazing and awesome. And you'll just want to work with expanding it out even more. And so the growth mindset helps you to persevere and to have more resilience. And it also it just helps you to look at how you can evolve continuously, so that you are creating new beliefs that are not also of a fixed mindset. Because if your old mindset is fixed in that belief, and then your new one is the polar opposite, but also fixed, and it doesn't leave room for you to grow into it, then it may not be attained, and then it could provide your mind with evidence that, see, it doesn't work. And that's not what we want. We want to work on a growth mindset. And that's going to be a big part of this experiential process today, which I'm, as I said, thrilled about taking you through. So as I said, I gave you in that training 7 strategies to be able to reflect on your situation and to create a more neutral lens with it for that growth. Then the second training was around my book, Sexy and Sparkling After 40. And we started with the S of the Sparkle system, which is about see your bright future, really creating what is it after you discover the things that, you know, really you would love to have in your life. You take that into that process of what is the vision that you're holding for yourself. And we looked at different categories of what different areas of your life of really what you would love to see happen. And so in that, I also took you through some activities where you got to experience yourself as your future self, acting as if, and that is a key strategy in order to close the gap, is to act as though it's already happening. That's how we close the gap, by coming from the end result that we desire. And always keeping in mind that we want to stay in a vibration that is equivalent to where that life is living. Also knowing that everything is created twice. So whatever we're thinking, it's going to manifest in the outer world. So again, how crucial it is to be aware of your beliefs and the foundation of beliefs that are really driving your life. And most of it subconsciously, which means your conscious mind isn't even aware of it, which is what can cause some frustration when we're trying to achieve our dreams and not even really understanding how we are showing up that is not allowing us to move towards our dream based on those beliefs. So as an example, if you feel invisible, if that's one of your beliefs, and you feel like people, you're not seen, then you want to understand, well, how is that? What are the patterns and the habits that you are engaging in that is really keeping that belief in force? When you're out, are you hiding? Are you staying in at night when you say you want to be dating? Are you watching Netflix all night? Are you, when you're with somebody else, you meet somebody and you're out and about, are you really presencing fully for that person? Or are you looking around, or just not really being fully present, and just asking yourself these questions? And so if you really want to, that's part of what we're going to be doing today, is really looking at, okay, I have this belief and it's not moving me towards my dream. And how's that really showing up in my life? How am I living inside of that is in ways of patterns and habits and behaviors that is keeping me in that belief without my even realizing it? Because most people do not realize the habits and patterns they have that are keeping their limiting beliefs locked in, solid in their foundation. So that's part of what we're going to be doing today as well. And so today, as I said, we're going to be doing something experientially that's going to be expanding on both the discovery and the vision. Just looking down at my notes to make sure that I stay on track, because we have a lot to cover today. And I know that I can get off on tangents, so I want to stay really focused today. So first, we want to look at our vision. So if you have those visions handy, I would like you to pull them out. If you are watching this in the replay, then go ahead, put it on pause and go and grab that vision. And if you haven't written your vision yet, then put it on pause and take a few moments to write your vision. It's important that you have that vision, because that is your blueprint for how you're going to be moving forward in your life. And it is really critical. That is what's going to catapult you to the life that you really want to be living. Okay, so I want you just to have that handy. You're going to put it aside. Before we really fully go into an expansion of that vision, I think it's very critical and necessary that you are aware of what I call your diamond DNA. And some of you may have heard me talk about this in the past. Diamond power is really at the center of the work that I do with all of you. And that is, that at the core of each of you, as I've shared in the past, I had this vision when I first started in this work. I was given a vision that inside of each of us is this beautiful diamond. That is your unique essence. That is your strength. That is all that is. That is your connection to God. And over time, it gets covered with the curveballs and the disappointments and things not working out. And so it takes your shine, it takes your vitality, it takes your vibrancy. And what we are working to achieve here is to get back to the knowing of your unique essence, your unique diamond DNA. And so I want you to, if you haven't already, put whatever digitals you have on silence or turn them off, so that you can give your full attention to this time together. And once you've done that, then I would like you to close your eyes and start taking in some nice deep breaths. Some big, beautiful breaths. Just feel your body relaxing. And we are going to take a journey inward to discover your diamond DNA. And so in this next minute, as you're breathing in, I want you to imagine beautiful, sparkling diamonds flowing down from the heavens, maybe angelic hands casting them towards you. You might see them streaming through some beautiful angelic hands of heaven, and imagine them flowing into the top of your head like a waterfall, cascading through your body, bringing brightness into every cell of your body, bringing a remembrance into every cell of your body. And silently saying to yourself, as you see this brilliant light flowing in, these diamonds, literally beautiful little diamonds flowing into your body that carry your DNA, that carry God's breath, that carry God's healing light and vibrancy. And remember who you are. And say that to yourself. I remember who I am and whose I am. And let those diamonds flow through your body, bringing light and love, expansion. I remember who I am and whose I am. And now ask yourself, or ask God, what is my diamond DNA? What are my unique gifts and talents? And open to hearing or seeing or knowing what they are. What are my unique gifts and talents that are only mine, that make me unique? Allowing yourself to receive. I allow myself to receive this information. And then asking the question of God, what is my divine destiny that you brought me into this world for? What is my divine destiny that I was created for? What is mine to do on this planet? What is mine to do on this planet? Who am I to be? Who am I to be? And that's a capital B-E. Who am I to be in your unique essence? Who are you to be that only you can be? And how am I to share it? What is the way in which I am to contribute this to the world? Whatever pops into your mind first. And then the last question has to do with what is the legacy you are here to leave? What is the legacy I am here to leave? All right, beautiful work. This was the discovery of your diamond DNA. So now I want you to write down the answers that you received. If you haven't done that already, I'll give you a minute to do that. The first question had to do with what was your diamond DNA? What are your unique gifts and talents that are only yours? And the second was, what is my divine destiny on this planet? What was I born, destined for, to, to create? And who am I to be? Who am I to be How am I to share it, to contribute it to the world? And what is my legacy? What is my legacy? All right. Now I want you to pull out your vision that you've been working on from the second training. And we're going to flush out a few more things in areas that I want you to consider. So in looking at your dream, I'd like you to focus on one. You might have a couple dreams, but I want you to focus on one for the purpose of this call today. And so have you got that? Yeah, okay. And when you consider that dream, I want you to, I'm going to mention 4 other areas that are necessary for your dream. And I want you to assess yourself. Where are you at on a scale of 1 to 5? 1 being not so much, 5 being, oh yeah, I'm completely, embodying this. And so the first one is confidence. So when you think about your dream, how great is your confidence that you're able to achieve it? Scale of 1 to 5. And then what about your creativity? How would you assess your creativity in achieving that dream? And creativity is not always about artistic things. Creativity is just, are you able to create really a blueprint, a structure, a way of living that will allow you to move forward towards your dream? So scale of 1 to 5, creativity. The third thing is leadership. How are you leading yourself towards your dream on a scale of 1 to 5? Self-leadership is incredibly important. How are you leading yourself? And the fourth is around the spirituality. When you think about your dream, where are you at as far as it being meaningful to you in a deeper sense? So now I want you to bring that dream into your mind. We're going to set that aside. This was just simply for you to gain an understanding of where you're at with the confidence and the creativity and the leadership and the spirituality. And now I want you to bring that vision into your mind. And we're going to begin with some breath work before we actually bring the vision in. So I want you to going to do a little bit of heart math breath work where we're going to bring a breath into your heart center and just imagine it flowing right through your heart center. And inhaling and exhaling through that heart center, centering yourself. And now, with the next 3 breaths, thinking about something that you feel gratitude for. Bringing that into your mind. Maybe it's a pet, maybe it's a child, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's something about yourself, something that happened. But bring gratitude, something you are grateful for, into your mind. And just feel the expansion of your heart, filling up with warmth from that connection to gratitude. And now breathing that in and out of your heart center. 2 more breaths. And now start to bring your vision into your mind and breathe your vision. We're going to put life into it as you breathe it in and out of your heart center. Just imagining with every breath that that vision is expanding and you are having more and more gratitude for that which you are acting as though you already have, because you are imagining that this is already happened for you. Just knowing that you're in a safe container and that our objective here is to have a growth mindset around your dream. And as you allow yourself to have that growth mindset and you allow yourself to look at your dream with honesty, we're going to determine where there may be a gap between where you're at now and where your dream is. And so as you imagine this dream, if you imagine it happening, I want you to notice and become aware of anything that is standing out that stresses you or causes a trigger by way of imagining that you have your dream. Are there any limiting core beliefs that are tied to this dream and it not materializing because of it? So maybe you want a bigger life or you want someone in your life, but maybe there's a fear that you're going to lose yourself in that other person. And you feel like you've worked really hard to get where you're at now. And the prospect of losing yourself does not sit well with you. So that is a subconscious block, perhaps, that is happening for you. Or maybe you are really wanting, thinking that you want a relationship, but deep down there's a fear that you might lose your freedom. That's always been one of mine, is the loss of freedom, because I really value freedom. So what we want to do is we want to notice what limiting beliefs or little stresses might be there. And so you'll notice that in your body. You know, as you vision what it is that you want, is there a part of your body that maybe doesn't feel like it's fully on board with it? Or maybe there's a thought that just floats by ever so subtly with a little suspicion of what might go wrong if this actually happened in your life. I want you to allow yourself to notice it. And as you're holding that vision in your mind, you're allowing yourself to feel it. You're allowing yourself to see it as though it were a beautiful sunset. You're bringing that awe and that wonder into this vision. You're allowing yourself to touch it as though you're touching a soft, soft blanket. You're bringing that feeling that you get from touching that soft blanket into your vision. And now imagine that you are tasting the most delicious thing you've ever tasted. And you're bringing that, whatever you're feeling from that, whether it's decadent or pleasurable or joyful, you're bringing that into your vision. And you're listening to waves crashing, and whatever comes through for you with that, the feeling, you're bringing that to your vision. And you're smelling the most amazing flower, your very favorite flower. And it's scintillating, and you just notice how that is making you feel, and you bring that to your vision. And now, as you're holding that vision, I want you to put a hand on your heart and proclaim, this is my new norm. This is my new norm. And as you are memorizing this state of being, reaching out to that future self and asking her, what did she let go of in order to have this? What is it that she let go of? Was there a way of thinking? Was there a pattern? Was there a behavior? What does she have to let go of to make this vision a reality? And I want you to connect with one thing that was said to you, one limiting thought or belief or pattern or habit that really jumped out at you when you heard it. Something that you know deep down is blocking you. And we want to adopt and adapt a growth mindset now. We're going to discover how to do that together. So, continuing to keep your eyes closed, I want you to notice where this limiting thought is, where this belief is, where this habit, pattern, where is that living in your body? And once you identify it, go ahead and put a hand on that part of your body. And just ask yourself how old it is. Like, what's the first time you ever remember having this feeling or engaging in a habit like this? And you might get an image, or you might get a time frame. If you don't, that's okay. You might get a sense of the time it was. You might get a sense of maybe you were under 10, or maybe you were under 5, or maybe you were under 15 or 20. But just get a sense of when the first time was that you ever felt this, had this thought, became aware of it. And I invite you to challenge this limited thinking, to adapt this growth mindset by really knowing that who you are today, the woman who is so competent and capable, she has so many gifts and talents that she utilizes, that she is so generous with, that she feels so good about, that see yourself stepping in and owning those traits, really becoming strong in those traits and strengths. Imagine your body filling up with that. Really resource yourself with that energy of your competency, of your confidence, of your capabilities. Feel yourself anchored into that. Feel yourself anchored in through the hips. Just really knowing all the things that you have done in your life that have gotten you to this place. You have a lot to be proud of. Just bring those things to mind. and fully standing in them, then I want you to turn your attention to that part of you who is creating the gap of this competent, wonderful woman who you are and where you want to go. That is this subconscious belief, thought that has you behaving in ways that are creating a gap from where you're at to where you want to go. And we want to have a growth mindset around this. So I'd like you to reach out with great empathy for that part of you that is still holding that limiting belief, that has not been able to move forward from that time that it was created, perhaps when you were very young or when you were a teenager. But I want you to have a lot of empathy for that part of you. I don't want you to become that part of you. You're staying in your capable self. But it's as though you are across the street from this part of you. You are two separate entities. But you have a lot of compassion for this part of you. And if you had a nickname when you were young and you want to address yourself, that younger part of you, with that nickname, you can do that. If not, just really having kindness and compassion for that part of you. And ask her 3 times what she is feeling and let her share with you what she's feeling. Give her an opportunity to tell you. Let her know that she's safe, that you're there to support her and to help her and to listen to her and to hear her, that she is seen and she is heard. And as she gives you the 3 things, say them back to her, acknowledge them. I hear that you feel, and fill in the blank. Say, mirroring back to her what she's shared with you. And then ask her what she needs. What does she need? Where she's at, the way she's feeling. What is it that she needs? And let her tell you 3 things that she needs. She might need a hug. She might need to know she's safe. She might need to know she's loved. She might need to know that she matters. Whatever it is that she shares with you is her truth. And again, with a great compassion, listen to her and then mirror it back to her. Let her know that you've heard her. I hear that you need, and fill in the blank. And now you get to champion her. So whatever that looks like for you, maybe you pull her into you and you sit her on your lap, depending on what her age is, and you put your arms around her and you comfort her and you champion her and you give her everything she needs and you tell her all the things that would help her to know that she is loved, that you believe in her, that she deserves what she needs, that she is worthy of what she needs, and that she can succeed. That she can succeed. Tell her whatever you want to tell her from this strength, from this place of capability. Really championing her, believing in her, loving her. And now you get to bring in the supernatural. You get to bring in Jesus, whose love is greater than anything we know that we could give to anybody. It's beyond anything. And it is through Jesus' love that we become saved, that we have all of our fears dissolved, that we are able to release those limiting thoughts and beliefs, that we are able to forgive ourselves or others, that we're able to be restored and renewed. So imagine Jesus is coming down from the heavens, and he puts his arms around that part of you that is struggling, that is the limiting belief or the habit. And imagine that he puts hands right on the area that is hurting. And there's a beautiful, streaming, loving light flowing out of his hands into that part of you that is hurting. And imagine it, this beautiful, bright light, or whatever color represents love and healing to you. And imagine that flowing into her body, pushing out whatever the fears were, the insecurities, the doubts, the worries, the pain, the hurt, pushing all of that out. And filling it up with that beautiful, loving light. Overshadowing any doubts or insecurities, literally pushing those things out. And this light is turning every cell into a little diamond of truth and remembrance, down to the DNA. And that's all the cells, the trillions of cells in our body are sparkling. They are igniting, and they are expanding this light and playing off of each other, bringing an even bigger sphere of light throughout her body that is clearing and cleansing her of all the darkness, all the heaviness, closing that gap. And she might be noticing who she is as she was standing in the center of all those beliefs, whatever thoughts might be a realization for her now of how she might have been showing up, of how she might have been interacting with other people, how she might have been presencing, so that she has an awareness of how she's been being in the center of all those beliefs, as she then has those awarenesses that she can literally give that to God, turn it over to Jesus and give it to God and let him purify it. Let him transform it. Wave after wave after wave of his healing love just flowing through her body and transforming it, and the light getting brighter and brighter as she's observing what behaviors and choices and decisions were made to create the gap, to create that gap, and now to bring in the love, to bring in the healing light of Jesus, to transform the old story. She can let it go now. She can let it go, and she can adopt a new story as she has an awareness of the cost of those patterns that she had been living in subconsciously. And as Jesus is clearing and cleansing and purifying, ask her if she is willing to let it go. Or does she want to continue to tolerate that pattern that is creating the gap? Or is she willing? Invite her to be willing to let it go so that you can close the gap with this beautiful transformational healing of this pattern, of this old story. So she can now identify a new self-concept of who she is as she remembers through this beautiful healing and transformation from Jesus's wave after wave of his gorgeous love coursing through her body, clearing and cleansing and digging into every nook and cranny and creating more and more of these beautiful, bright, cells that are turning into sparkling diamonds and expanding and playing off of each other. And this light is expansive and it is far reaching and it goes to the outer edges of her body and it goes beyond her body. And she is remembering fully who she is, that she is a light, that she is the light of God, that she is a child of God. She is remembering her truth. She is remembering who she is fully, and she is able to identify herself right now in this new story and become aware of her self, her authentic self, her unique essence, and to know that her unique essence is more than enough. She does not have to do anything to prove herself. She doesn't have to prove herself to anybody else. That her essence is more than enough, more than enough. And that it is safe to be her. That Jesus will always have her back if she allows him to be there for her, to be her knight in shining armor. He is the one. He is the one that wants to fill her up constantly with love, with strength, with endurance, with persistence, with truth, and with kindness and compassion and a remembrance of who she is. And let her see herself transformed in this beautiful essence. And now, as she is, if she is completely healed, then I would like you to turn her into a symbol of light. And if she needs to stay with this a little longer to heal more, then you can put this on pause until she's totally healed. If you're watching it in replay. And as you turn her into a symbol of light, I want you to take her and tuck her right into the center of your heart. Bring her home. Bring that part of you that was creating the gap. Bring her home to close the gap. To blend fully. To create a wholeness and a strength and a happiness within you. And feel how yummy that feels. Feel the wholeness, feel the satisfaction, feel the fulfillment, feel the contentment, feel the warmth of that beautiful love of Jesus that is completely now flowing through your body with the new truth, with the new story. And now I want you to thank Jesus for this beautiful healing and ask him if he has a message for you. And receive it. Receive his message. And now you can gently open your eyes and connect with a new self-concept. You want to identify your new self-concept. So you want to create a statement of the truth of who you are, the truth that challenges that belief that was creating the gap, because that is not the truth of who you are. So now you are creating a new story that is growth oriented. So I want you to identify a new story of power for yourself. So if it was about being more visible, maybe it's about saying that the deeper truth is that it's safe to be seen, and I have the power to presence myself. Or if it's about being enough, the truth is that I am more than enough, and my essence is more than enough and that I do not have to do anything to prove myself. And what is the story that now goes with that? So take a minute to write that new story. I'm going to give you a minute to write it. A new story about your truth, your creative power, your ability to learn and to grow and to succeed in the area of your vision. And I also want you to identify a new story of power about others in this area of your vision. How do others see you and value your presence inside of this vision? What are your new habits? What are your new patterns? What are your new ways of showing up and presencing in a powerful new way? And now I want you to identify one action step that you can take that will move you towards really embody this new story, this new way of being, showing up in a way that's aligned with this new story. What is an action step that you can take? And is there someone in your life who can witness you stepping into this new way of being? Why that's important is because it will help to create a stronger foundation of transforming into this new way of being. If you have a good friend in your life, or a sibling or a parent, that you could ask them to be a witness as you step into these new ways of being, and to let you know when they notice and become aware of these shifts. And so identify that for yourself and set that up as a form of accountability. And I want you to map out your structure for this, meaning you've got your new story, you have your new belief about that's a growth oriented belief that allows you to grow into it, right? That and so now we want to create a map out a growth pathway. And what do I mean by that? What do you imagine when you're in different situations, knowing how you used to show up, that was inside of the old story? What is a new way of showing up? What are new habits? What are new patterns? What are new new behaviors. What would the top ones be? So, for example, if you wanted to meet someone and you're out, and normally you may feel insecure or feel more comfortable chatting with a friend than mingling, then how could you shift that? What could you do to shift that? That would be more in alignment with your new story. Because it's by taking the actions, and shifting into new ways of being, new habits, new patterns, really putting it all into play, creating that structure of support, that you then will be able to anchor into that new story with much more ease and really allow that dream to come to fruition. All right. So I would love to know what your new structure of support is going to be for your new story. You can share that with me at any time. I would love to know it, and so that I can hold it for you, and so that I can vision it for you and really be imagining that and seeing it for you and praying for you, that be that courage and that confidence and that new way of being be infused in you. All right, ladies, this was a very deep call for visioning. Again, I wanted to try something a little deeper with you all. You're all absolutely in a place where you can work with this, and I felt that it was time for you to go a little bit deeper, to take a look at what is creating the gap, so that you can move forward with that dream, because that's the goal. Catapult. I want you to be soaring straight up towards that goal. Because by the end of this year, by the end of the program, we want to make sure that you are moving closer to your goal, if not achieving it. And that's my intention, and I know that's your intention, or you wouldn't be part of this program. So it's about taking those steps, ladies, getting out of your comfort zone and taking those steps, and knowing that I am right here with you, holding your hand, absolutely believing in you. I know you can do it. I've seen you all do amazing things already. So keep it going. I know that it is waiting for you and that you can do it. All right. So much love to you. Bye for now.